Today we are looking at Market Chameleon Options, Unusual Option Volume. Common stock. We went down from 124 to 112. IV up. We are now down from 124 to 60. Looking at the stock, I want the price to be high to low. Down to $50, $70. So we have 1, 2, 3. About 20 stocks. Looking at the market, the SPY, on the day chart, the market was down. We're bouncing on a 200 moving average. We broke down below the 20 moving average and we are moving up on the 50 moving average. So consolidation. The market is consolidating. Choppy movement. So unusual options. I'm looking for puts at 97%. I see Williams-Sonoma. Volume 21 August 3059 volume. So the prices that are being bought are 65 and 77. Very high IV. $77.50 August 21. Williams-Sonoma. Again. Buy to open 10 August 21, 77.50. $77.50. Put $88. Down here we have 88% put PHM. %, PHM. We have the highest volume in July, 2,104. $30, 2004, $30 puts. July 20. $30.
treated China as a friendly trading partner, but that partnership is
President Trump celebrates the completion of 200 miles of border wall as Democrats admit defeat. In this video, we're going to take a look at the recent tour President Trump took, the newly completed wall in Arizona, and we're going to see precisely why the Democrats are tacitly admitting that when it comes to the issue of border security, they have totally and completely failed. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dear patrons from all over the world, Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you as always. If this is your first time here at this channel, a warm welcome to you. You found your daily white pill of encouragement and optimism, where we analyze current events and analyze some super awesome consumer trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. It'd be an absolute privilege to have you as a regular part of this channel, where each and every day we have the privilege together of celebrating the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism, the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. So let's start with our video chat question of the day. Are you happy with the progress that Trump has made in building the wall? Let us know in the comments section below. Now keep in mind all the obstacles that the swamp has put in front of him throughout this entire process. And so given that, are you happy with the progress that's been made in building the wall along our southern border? Because we're actually going to see why the Democrats are admitting defeat on this issue, and how in many respects all this racist insanity that we've been seeing coming from them over the last few weeks really is meant to be a distraction from the fact that they've lost the debate on border security big time. But first, our sponsors over at BioTrust have combined four of the world's best immune-supporting powerhouses, along with a mega dose of vitamin C, into their #1 immunity support product, Ageless Body. It's simply amazing. Ageless Body provides you 5 of the most powerful immune support ingredients available, including their #1 immunity support recommendation, turmeric, which is 46 times better absorption than most other forms. And best of all, if you click on that link today, you can now get Ageless Body at their lowest price ever, up to 51% off with free shipping in the United States to boot. So don't wait. Click on the link below or go to agewithsteveturley.com and give your immune system an awesome boost today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. President Trump was at the Arizona border in Yuma yesterday to tour the new construction of the border wall along our southern border, a visit that marked the official completion of 200 miles of wall built. President Trump was accompanied by officials such as the Customs and Border Protection Commissioner, as well as the Homeland Security Secretary. And, he even ended up autographing the wall, which is so cool. He's turning the wall into a tourist attraction. Only Trump could do that. He even ended up Arizona border in Yuma yesterday to tour the new construction of the border wall along our southern border, a visit that marked the official completion of 200 miles of wall built. President Trump was accompanied by officials such as the Customs and Border Protection Commissioner, as well as the Homeland Security Secretary. And, he even ended up autographing the wall, which is so cool. He's turning the wall into a tourist attraction. Only Trump could do that, if you think it through. It reminds me, I think it was with Larry King. Trump was being interviewed by Larry King during the 2016 campaign. And Larry King looked at him and said, whatever you do with the wall, Don, whatever you do, you got to turn it into a Trump wall. With casinos and hotels and boulevards on the American side of it, right? Absolutely hilarious. But yes, the wall is indeed getting built, slowly but surely and steadily. The southern border wall is now 200 miles. We now have some amazing drone footage coming from various parts of the southern border, showing an astonishing engineering achievement. Check this footage out. This is from Santa Teresa, New Mexico. Again, we're seeing the wall stretch out as far as the eye can see, and really this is just a sample of what Trump has been able to accomplish, as much as the swamp in Washington, D.C. has been trying to prevent him from doing so. You remember Paul Ryan, the feckless Republican Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, Eddie Munster, how he got in Trump's way every step of the way? Well, the results speak for themselves. He's lost, Trump has won. Trump now has completed 200 miles of border wall along the southern border, and he hopes to have completed nearly 500 miles by the end of his first term, just the next few months. And what this means is that by the time Trump is done with this project at the end of his second term, he will have completed a wall the length of which would be the equivalent of a wall stretching from Boston, Massachusetts, all the way to Chicago, Illinois. I mean, let that hit you. That's the engineering marvel that the Trump administration is accomplishing here. It's really just astonishing stuff. The Department of Homeland Security has started border wall projects on federal lands in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. So these include the Rio Grande Valley in El Paso in Texas, Sunland Park in New Mexico, Naco, Arizona, and Imperial County and San Diego County in California. All of these are federally protected lands, so there are no regulations or environmental issues that have to be dealt with. All that was needed was a waiver signed by Trump, which he's given. So construction is going on in places like Calexico, about 120 miles east of San Diego. Trump administrations also issued waivers to start building in San Diego and Santa Teresa, New Mexico. And so no matter what obstacles, or shall we say walls, that globalist liberals have been trying to put up to prevent the construction of the wall, it's all been for naught. The wall continues to be built, and magnificently so. Now, you'll notice something, if you haven't already. You'll notice a strange silence among Democrats regarding the border wall. Have you noticed that? I know Democrats are not generally silent, but remember all the hysteria about illegal immigrant families being torn apart, their children separated from them, and being in cages, right? You remember all that? It's like this time last year, Ocasio-Cortez fake crying in a parking lot that she pretended was a detention camp. Do you notice all of that is gone? But silence is deafening. And it's deafening because it's nothing less than the definition of border security. Their deliberate attempt at keeping the borders open in order to increase their voter base has failed. And of course, it wasn't just Trump that stood in their way. The coronavirus has, for the foreseeable future, shut down any hope of any Democrat plausibly arguing that we need open borders. Again, just to remind us how brazen these left-wing nuts were on this issue. Back in January 2019, we did a video on this actually. A left-wing activist disguised as a journalist named Farhad Manjoo penned an op-ed in the New York Times entitled, "There's Nothing Wrong with Open Borders." He goes on to make the case why what he calls a brave Democrat should step forward and defend precisely that the United States, far from closing its borders, should in fact be vastly expanding our immigration policy to allow in any and everyone who wants to come into our nation. So he begins with this John Lennon-like imagine scenario. He writes, imagine if we radically shifted our xenophobic stance towards outsiders from one of suspicion to one of embrace. Imagine anyone from outside the U.S. who passed a minimal background check. Imagine that person becoming a free citizen of our nation. Imagine moving from Nigeria to Nebraska as freely as one might move from Massachusetts to Maine. Not quite imagine, right? There's no countries, it isn't hard to do, nothing to kill or die for, no religion to. It's not quite that, but it's getting there. It's certainly the same liberal globalist sentiment. And this Manjoo fellow goes on to say that with the Democratic presidential hopefuls all surfacing again, this was back in January of last year, now would be the perfect time, perfect time for them not only to stand up against Trump's racist wall and advocate the abolishing of ICE, the Immigration Customs Enforcement, not only that, but to actually radically expand our immigration policies. And the reasoning he offers is, well, ideological. Why is it that certain people are afforded certain rights and benefits simply by accident of geography? Why is it that we here in the United States are afforded all these rights, whereas people in other nations, say on the continent of Africa where he's from, they're excluded from enjoying such rights? Well, it's called national sovereignty, you idiot, but nonetheless. He actually quotes a professor from the University of Hawaii that claims that closed borders in our modern world are predicated on the notion that we are recipients of hereditary rights and privileges based on where we were born. This is the leftist lunacy that plagued our nation as recently as just a few months back. Do you notice that it's gone? Or better, it's been replaced with a completely